Welcome to our December council meeting. It's Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025. Before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to our first responders, our fire department, our EMS, and the police department for the work that they're doing today during our snowstorm. And we wish them safe travels out there, and we're thinking of them. This meeting will be streamed live and recorded for public viewing on the town's YouTube page. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as Anishinaabe. Through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air, that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Council, I would remind you, if you have a pecuniary interest, please declare it at the appropriate time. I'd like to recognize the fact that our CAO, Mr. Sabansky, and our clerk, Ms. Gorchuk, are joining us virtually. I understand both of you have been a little under the weather, and we certainly appreciate you being where you're at so we can stay healthy. But you will be joining in with us, I'm sure, so. All right, Deputy Clerk, anything under delegations that's been added to the agenda?
No items have been added.
Okay, let's go to item 5.1. Anything business added from the previous meeting?
No, there has not.
All right, so council, let's go to item 6.1. A motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, that the minutes be adopted by council, and those confidential minutes of the closed sessions of council remain confidential, restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. That would be our November 24th Planning Council meeting minutes, our November 24th closed Planning Council meeting minutes, our November 26th regular council meeting minutes, as well as our November 26th closed regular council meeting minutes. Council, you've had an opportunity to review them. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the motion. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, let's go to item 6.2, moved by Councillor Wolvette, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren. That the minutes be adopted by council, and those confidential minutes of the closed sessions remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. It would be our November the 3rd Special Events Committee meeting minutes, as well as our November 13th Environmental Service Committee meeting minutes. We have Councillor Bojan here, who's our rep and our chair on that committee. Any questions? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, let's go to item 6.3, councilors' reports. Deputy?
Yes, we'll start with Mr. Bojan.
Thank you. Yeah, the only thing I had was we had our environmental services meeting last week. We're talking about one of those items tonight, and then the other one was a capital project update from Mr. De Silva. Another good report, just to see where all those dollars are going.
Yes, sure. Makes them really lengthy, doesn't he?
Lengthy but detailed.
Okay. Mr. Vasey?
I have nothing other than Christmas in the Village on Saturday.
Yes.
Reminder.
Have you ordered better weather than today?
Snow, it just
Okay,
came a little early.
well, maybe some will hang around,
Hope it ain't raining.
not for sure. Ms. Rodriguez?
I had a Conservation Ontario meeting on Monday. And I have a board of directors meeting tomorrow at the same place.
Nothing interesting happened?
Well, at the Ontario?
Any of them?
Well, tomorrow's.
You don't know yet?
Yeah, I do. I have the agenda.
Oh, I know, but.
There's lots of Plympton-Wyoming correspondence on it. And of course, both have a lot to do with the big changes, so
Right,
more to come.
okay.
An armed guard.
Mr. Follett.
I only had one meeting there on the first of the environmental services, and we'll be speaking on one of those topics here tonight. That's all.
Van Cleven.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Drainage is still hopping, lots of work being done out there in the municipality, and obviously our meeting is chock full of them as well, and at 6 p.m. we have a couple.
Good, good. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Deputy. A couple things. First of all, I was at the environmental meeting. Council Bojan touched on. I met with our SLEP representative. Took part in a emergency management training exercise at the Kamaki Community Center, along with the deputy and our staff. The CCC is going to be one of the centers if in an emergency. So we worked with the Optimists because they will be manning the facility during an emergency. That was led by our emergency management coordinator, Dave Clark. I attended a press conference at Meadowview this past week, where, as you are all aware, there's going to be 3 beds there from the St. Joseph's Hospice. And the division of the county that was in there is now going to be going to Reese's Corner Store Plaza. So that's, wheels are in motion there. And I had the opportunity on Saturday, the other night, to attend the Lions Christmas party, where we recognized, I think there was 6 or 7 longtime serving Lions. In fact, Don Hendrick started Advantage Farm Equipment for 60 years service through the Lions Club. And I think the one with the least service that was recognized was 50 years, and there was a couple of them. So gentlemen that certainly give back to the community, have and continue to do that day in and day out. So I was very honored to be able to be there and be part of that. That's all I have. Deputy, what about you?
I attended some of those meetings that you were at too, and though you covered them all, but I did have a museum meeting this morning. And they're going to, because there's lack of attendance during Christmas time and winter time, they're going to close on Saturdays until March. And that way you don't use up all your volunteers too, and you know, you're just sitting there and reading the next agenda for council. And they purchased a new computer, so they're all excited about that, and it'll be, you know, something that they can run nicely. They can, not Nettie. Anyway, and that's about it. So,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, council, let's go to item 7.1. By Councilor Rodriguez, seconded by Councilor Bojan, that the council remuneration claims for November 2025 be approved by payment. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, let's get into our staff reports. 8.1, moved by Councilor Rodriguez, seconded by Councilor Bojan, that the report by Adam Sabansky, Chief Administrative Officer, dated November 21st, 2025, regarding a facade and structural improvement program submission for 582 Broadway Street be received, and that council approves the application for funding. Mr. Sabansky, is there anything you'd like to add to your report?
Not today, your worship.
Okay. I don't think Adam has anything to add.
Good job, Adam.
Any questions? All those in favor? It's carried.
That was easy.
Thanks for coming.
I would like to recognize the owners of Cosmos, our new cafe that's coming to town, that's with us this evening. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for taking on this project. It's something our communities look forward to for a long time, and we're looking forward to the success that you have.
Appreciate it.
Okay, let's go to item 8. You can go if you want now, or if you want to stay here tonight, you're more than.
Yeah, she asked, so.
No, we don't penalize you.
Very much. We
Welcome.
Thank you for the support, sir.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Cash and run.
All right, let's go to item 8.2. Moved by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that the report from Norma Roddick Priest, Treasurer, dated November the 28th, 2025, regarding the 2025 third quarter budget update be received and filed. Are there any questions on this report from our treasurer? Councillor Rodriguez?
No.
That's specific.
I know you guys want me to.
You knocked it off.
Snow blindness. I think, to our treasurer, thank you for providing this. This is something that we've asked for so that all of your council can be updated on what is going on as far as expense wise, and thank you to all the committees and the department heads for submitting that as well. Appreciate that very much.
Mentioning the ones that are, you know, a little variable.
Mhm. Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Christmas gift.
No questions?
Okay, let's go to item 8.3. Moved by Councillor Rodriguez, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that the report by Ryan Tamming, Drainage Coordinator, dated December the 1st, 2025, regarding summary of requests for drain maintenance between June 20th, 2025 and December the 1st, 2025 be received for information and filed accordingly. Any questions on that? Mr. Tamming is here with us this evening. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Mr. Tamming, I understand there's quite a bit coming up this over the winter and springtime to be worked on as well.
Yeah, I would say it never ends, really. Yeah, constant. It's a lot of requests, a lot of new construction projects coming as well. So yeah, very busy.
Okay, good. Okay, motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, I'm sorry, 8.4, Council. Moved by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren, that the report by Ryan Tamming, Drainage Coordinator, dated December the 1st, 2025, regarding an update on ongoing railway issues in relation to the Drainage Act, be received for information and filed accordingly. Are there any questions or comments? Deputy?
Yeah, I like the answer to this, okay? But can this be appealed to a higher court?
Through mayor to council, yes, and I believe that is CP's intent is to appeal that to Ontario Divisional Court at this time. So
Through a divisional court, is that the highest? What's after that? Is there another one?
I don't believe that it can be appealed higher, but through the CTA, they might try something separately, potentially. I would like to maybe talk to a lawyer to answer those questions. Sorry.
Yeah, there is an appeal.
There is likely going to be an appeal on this, yes.
Thanks, that's it.
Councillor Rodriguez?
Thank you. What is their appeal period? Like, how long do they have to submit an appeal? Do you know?
Again, I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe it's coming fairly soon. Talking with the staff at Chatham, they're expecting any day, yeah.
Maybe when we find out, we could be kept abreast of that information.
Yep, I could definitely provide another update report when those advancements come along. Sure.
Okay, it'd be nice to get our money. Well, that,
I thought I was reading in here somewhere that even if they're appealing it, will be required to pay municipalities.
That's the referee's through the mayor and council, sorry, that's the referee's decision now, is that the legislation applies and that the assessments to CN are fair and that they are obligated to pay them.
Right, that's kind of the way I read it here too. So even though they've appealed it, we're probably going to get paid.
I think the right course of action is to resend all our bills with a copy of the referee's decision, and at least refresh those invoices.
And the other thing, I'd like to thank the mayor for pursuing this. I mean, Gary's been pursuing this now for quite some time, meeting after meeting and pushing it along. I think we were the first to really start this whole thing off, or one of the first.
Ourselves in Warwick together.
Yes, for Warwick, great. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. This has been a long time coming and it's the right decision.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Carried. Item 8.5, motion by Councillor Van Claveren, seconded by Councillor Wolvette, that the report by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated December the 1st, 2025, regarding the facility use agreement between the town of Plympton-Wyoming and the Huron Shores Optimus Kamlaki Community Center be received, and that bylaw 120 of 2025 be approved and taken as having been read 3 times and finally passed, the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Questions? Councillor Rodriguez, then deputy.
Thank you. Excuse me. I might have missed it, but is there a clause in here somewhere that the town has first right of use? So the reason why I asked the question is because obviously there's a master plan that there's a lot of desire to get other things going at the Kamlaki Community Center. So I think the town should be managing kind of if things pick up. I mean, it's probably pretty simple to schedule things now, but as activity picks up, which is the hope, and long before the 10-year agreement is up, somebody needs to kind of manage who gets first right and who takes priority over those types of activities. So do you know if there's some sort of clause in there?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it.
Sure, your worship, like the town has historically always managed that calendar in terms of bookings for the CCC, and then the Optimists will kind of sprinkle their events in between. So we've always had that first right of refusal for anybody that wants to book the CCC. You know, we provide that calendar to them, and then they kind of sprinkle their events in between. So and they also book with Jess in advance as well. And normally those events take place at night, not during the day, when we could be repurposing that space for other activities as suggested in the draft master plan so far.
So because it's been done informally, I just think it'd be nice to put it, since you're putting a formal agreement, to put that detail in there. And you said during the day, I kind of hope there's going to be evening events too for people who work, who maybe want to go play pickleball, or kids who might, whatever. It is, whatever the vision becomes. So that's why I think it's kind of, my other question. So you're stating in here that they have to uphold their own insurance policy. So we provide a grant back to Huron Shores or for the Kamlaki Community Center itself?
De Silva?
Through you, your worship, are you referring to the capital grant that we provide to that facility? Because that is for the facility itself. We do not provide
Capital.
what grant?
So I usually subsidize like hydro and everything else like that.
We pay for all that, yes,
Okay.
out of the operating budget.
I guess my question is Huron Shores Optimus is not directly receiving any of those monies.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not connected by giving money back and it's then paying for insurance, you know what I mean? Yep, that was my questions.
Deputy and then Councillor Bojan.
Okay, I have a question for Paul. It's number 3, use, occupancy, and operation of demised premises. So I really have trouble with this demised, and so, and my recollection is that demised means, end of existence, or end of activity. And so it appeared to me that there's an end to this building. So can we leave that word out? I looked it up and that's what it says in my dictionary that I looked up. It says end of existence or end of activity. So it sounds like it's at its end. Can we change that word in this agreement? I really dislike it.
Peter Silva.
Through you, your worship, I'm really happy that you asked that question, Madam Deputy. So I do have the definition of that up on my computer screen.
You looked up in your dictionary.
And it is a specific property or space being leased or granted under a legal agreement. So it does tend to fit, I would suppose, the definition, but I would be happy to change it. And I'm sure that the optimists would agree to change it if we had a better term that was more palatable.
The Blackie Community Center, would that sound good? Does anybody
Sure.
agree with me? Because demised premises is really,
The facility.
facility is one,
Facility.
not demised facility either, just facility.
I agree because I feel it has two different meanings. And anybody looking at it is gonna think it's demise. We're not gonna look at the legal term.
Can we just
We can
say,
make that amendment, sure.
is that okay with?
I think so. Let me check with the clerk.
Like the word. I like the word.
Well, yeah, you would, because I don't.
Madam Clerk, can we make that adjustment?
Yes, your worship, if you can just write as amended on the motion when before you call it, then I have it in the minutes. That's the change we're making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councillor Bojan, and then back to you, Councillor Rodriguez.
Yeah, the only thing I had was going back to Councilor Rodriguez's point about first refusal. I interpreted 6-7 as because we provide the booking information to the optimists. So I don't know if we want to strengthen it based on what you said. But when I read that one, that to me was kind of like, okay, we're booking everything anyway, but we want to strengthen if we can. But that's where I saw that in the agreement.
Well, thank you, because I didn't see it. That's what I was asking.
So would you like to put that as,
No, I mean, I think it covers it, but
you're clear
yeah,
now.
yeah.
No pot of gold there, but. Councillor Rodriguez, do you have a question or has it been answered?
No, well, that's all I was gonna say. If we're changing demise, we might as well throw in first right of refusal. Apparently it's there.
Councillor Bailey?
Yes, this came to Parks and Rec last month, November, and we didn't really feel it was Parks and Rec's decision to make any recommendation on this agreement, because we don't have anything to do with the operational, like day-to-day stuff. We're just there to oversee the finances of it. But in the master plan, they do talk about potential uses for that hall. And to me, it makes no sense for us to sign a 10-year agreement. And then once we dig into this master plan, change it, and then we're gonna rewrite the agreement again. Because it could change completely what's going on out there. So that was kind of the reason why we pushed it back here to you guys. I would like to see like a 1-year thing for now until, so you guys, most of you haven't seen the master plan, so it could change, it could not. But the way this is set up, we signed a 10-year agreement. Then we got to get a year's notice to change it. So now we're 2 years down the road, potentially into another council. And hopefully some of us are back, but I see we're kind of putting the cart before the horse, in my opinion. We haven't had an agreement for 40 years. So we're usually not in a big rush. I know Paul was in a big rush to get done, but I would like to see what shakes out of the master plan. Like I say, they did talk about pickleball, or they did talk about, maybe volleyball, and well, maybe the optimists don't have, we don't want anything to do with that. Because it does put more pressure on them as far as cleaning and whatever the agreement is with them, and that hall. So that's kind of where I'm at, is I would like to get through this budget, get through the master plan. Like I say, we're in no big rush to do anything, but that's me.
No, I think you brought up a valid point, Councillor. Anybody else feel the same way? Councillor Rodriguez?
John?
I was in agreement.
Disagree.
Yeah. Right, if I could pretty sure that. Um. I mean, which is why I brought it up, the first right of refusal, strengthening kind of that language. Because if there's increased activity, it makes it clear that, you know, we have full control over when and who can use it. If there is increased activity. I mean, it doesn't mean we're kicking out the optimist because we're gonna have increased activity either. So I don't know if it's really a big deal to sign the agreement. Maybe a shorter term is fine. I don't. Doesn't matter to me on the term of or length of the agreement, but it does allow them some of that long-term comfort to know that they're gonna be able to operate in one place. They just need to have that understanding. There is a master plan and there might be increased use in that building.
Mr. De Silva?
Yeah, through your worship, the president of the Optimist sits on our Parks and Rec committee, so they're well aware of what's going on with the master plan, and obviously there is some decisions that need to be made in the future on how we can better support that particular facility and how it can be a better accommodation for our residents. So I don't really have a strong opinion one way or another, whether we go super long-term with this or if we just do it by the year. I just know that there was a desire from all parties to get this done at this time, just to provide a little bit more clarity around, you know, how is this relationship supposed to function on paper? So whatever council decides, if we only do 1 year, then I guess we'll bring it back again next year, and then we'll do that until we get a little bit more clarity around what we're doing with the master plan.
So if we decided to do something there, how far out would we be? Probably 2 years before we did anything? Like if we, like Councilor Basie said, if we decided to rip the floor up or change that around, we'd be probably 2 years, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I would suggest that we're intending on finalizing the master plan, you know, in the new year, early on in the new year. So that means we won't be budgeting for anything to do with that facility until 2027. So the 2-year timeframe seems to be appropriate.
What's your thoughts, folks? Do you want to continue as 10 or you want to make an adjustment to that? Councilor Wellbeck?
I would suggest we make the adjustment, as Mike said, go with a year. Let's see where this plan is going, and waited this long is no big deal.
So
Sometimes going 10 years if we start making changes, so gives us more security and control.
So your suggestion is to change that 10 years to 1 year?
To 1 year and then take a look at it.
And then it'll be
Year.
your council too.
In my thought.
Just my thoughts.
Well, maybe.
This time.
I thought that was a given.
So Councilor B, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm good with 1 or 2. I mean, 2, from a timeline perspective, 2 probably makes more sense, but the contract's important. I am a big believer that it's important to have that. And I think the optimists realize it too. But yeah, I'm not married to 10 years at this point, just because the use of that building will likely change, and that can be a conversation with the optimists. How much involvement do you want to have with this new use? And how can we blend in with the current use? Because I don't think we want to change the current use either. So I'm fine with 1 or 2. 2 probably makes more sense because October's a new council and not gonna do anything in 2026 anyways, so.
Is everybody comfortable with 2? I know Councilor Wellbeck suggested.
Yeah, I'm flexible, that's fine.
Clark, are we okay to do that?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest the same thing Alex did, because the new council will be coming and then only have a month under their belt, and we'd have to be negotiating the next terms before that happened anyways. The only thing is, I don't know if Mr. De Silva knows how the optimists would feel about reducing this. I mean, we can amend the motion, amend the contract, and if they're not agreeable, we can bring the contract back. But we can approve it on our end, and this is what council sees fit. I don't know what Mr. De Silva thinks.
De Silva?
Yeah, through your worship, I'm happy to have that conversation with them, but I do think that they would certainly be amenable in this situation.
I think we're not hiding anything. And I think once they understand where we're going and why we're doing it, I'm hoping they would be okay with it. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're looking to kick them out in a year or 2, and that's why we're shortening it. It's just because we need to there's a lot of work to figure out what we're gonna do with extending activities in there, that's all. So I don't want him to feel like that's the end of the road type thing.
Also, are we comfortable with 2 years instead of 10? The mover and seconder, Councillor Van Claveren and Deputy, or Councillor Wilbet, you guys okay with that?
Yes, that,
Yes.
2 years.
So clerk, you've got that information for, as amended?
Correct. We're changing demised and changing to a 2-year term.
Correct. We have to keep the deputy happy.
I want a copy of your dictionary.
It's on these, no, it's all right. Well, for the vote, all those in favor? Carried. You say tablets, but I don't think. Okay, item 8.6. Motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren, that the report submitted by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated December the 2nd, 2025, regarding the Marcotte Waste Collection Contract Extension be received, and that the 5-year contract amendment submitted by Marcotte Disposal Incorporated in the amount of $702,382.20 plus HST be approved, and that bylaw 121 of 2025 be taken as having been read 3 times, finally passed, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Before I open it up for discussion, I will defer to Mr. De Silva because there has been some adjustments that have been presented to us. So Mr. De Silva, if you'd like to begin with that.
Yes, thank you through you, your worship. I apologize for the short notice on this. I did receive a call from Ms. Kaplan from Marcotte, who is in attendance with us today, so thank you for being here. And they just are going to be awarded or in the process of being awarded a long-term contract with the city of Sarnia. So they have good financial certainty going into the future. So she did call me today and said that there was some additional savings that could possibly be recognized here if we went with a 7-year contract with the option of doing 3 additional years kind of decided by the year as we go. And that would result in a further $30,000 worth of savings because I apologize. She suggested that she could amortize some of the equipment that she needs to buy over a longer period of term if she had more contract certainty with the 7 years. So that would bring the contract price down to around $670,000. That's the first thing to consider. The second thing is when we met with the Environmental Services Committee last Monday, we had discussed compost and what our level of service could be and where the potential savings could be in terms of compost collection. So they did provide us with some numbers of spring collection and fall collection. We pick up a considerable amount more in the fall than we do in the spring. So we could consider reducing down to 3 weeks in the spring and keeping the full 6 weeks in the fall. That would result in another roughly $40,000 in savings. I did manage to take a straw poll from the Environmental Services Committee and everyone was in favor of that option as well. So there's a couple of things to consider just to kind of bring the number down, make it a little bit more palatable to the residents. And it brings our break-even point down quite a bit too, from $210 to around $195 per household by going with that 7-year option.
I think we were, what, 171?
We were at $170 and that did not change for 3 years.
Councillor Bojan.
Yeah, thank you. I guess the first thing I'll say is that that's very good sign of good faith. Marcotte, I appreciate that. And I mean, we talked about it at the Environmental Service Committee meeting too. I mean, they've set the bar high, whatever service we're gonna get for recycling now. It's gonna be a high bar for them to meet because they've been so good with pickup in our community. So I mean, I lean towards the 7-year because that's big savings over those 7 years. And then when it comes to the compost level, I still think if we reduce it to 3 weeks in the spring, as long as I think it would make most sense to keep it the back 3 weeks. That way, if someone rakes earlier, they can hang on to it in the garage and then put it out rather than doing it earlier. But I think that 3 weeks still meets the need of everyone who's doing spring cleaning. So I really like those two options that were presented, and I appreciate the Stephen, the good faith gesture from our guy.
Busy?
Yes, I echo what Alex is saying. We get excellent service out here. Nothing bad to say against, the guys on the trucks are good, very polite, very, if they dump it on the ground, they pick it up, they put it like, you drive in other municipalities, if it hits the ground, it's staying there. And simple little things, they knock the garbage pail over, they pick it back up and put it back, like, I have nothing but good things to say about you, so I'd hate to lose you. So the fact that, you know, you come to us again and, hey, I can save you a bit more money and whatnot, greatly appreciate it, so I would go with the 7 as well.
Councillor Rodriguez?
Thank you. Yes, I completely, agree. I mean, everybody and anybody absolutely is happy with their service. And what you're providing. A big side of that was the recycling too. So it's sad that we're gonna lose that. Yes, indeed, sure, yes. The only thing that was missing for me on here, just for putting it on paper's sake, was you said you've checked with other municipalities and it's $1 for the note, but those figures weren't there just for, you know, having it on paper. That's all I would have liked to have seen. Just to give more of that justification, right? So, other than that, no, I have no issues with most of the suggestions.
Deputy?
Yes, when Paul started saying that, you know, Marcotts are here to make some adjustments, and I thought, oh yeah, here we go. Certainly pleasantly surprised, so yeah, and of course they know what the other 3 have said, perfect, maybe not perfect, but very good collection. Everybody, like the residents, they can't say enough about you.
Thank you. Councillor Van Clever, anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So you mentioned that Sarnia has contracted Marcot. Are you folks servicing other communities, municipalities next to us here?
Yes, sir. We are, you come up here if you want. Yes, sir. We are servicing St. Clair Township as well. And then we also service the Village of Point Edward. We've serviced the city of Sarnia since 2000. This is our 5th round with their contract, so they've agreed to start the negotiations tomorrow. And in that, I was thinking last night, if we're gonna go 7 years with them with another 3, I might as well put the offer out. So I did call Paul this morning, and I thought, you know, when I spoke with the committee and we came out and cost savings was paramount in your budget, then I thought, well, if I can stretch it out to you guys, I might as well offer it. You know, we have a great working relationship and you guys have really complimented us a lot. It's kind of made me a little embarrassed here, but I really do appreciate it and I will pass it on to my team. But we did want to, you know, come out and give you the opportunity to save along with the city. So it does give us a really good chance to kind of clean up everything and put everything in one spot so that everybody has the same fair rates. To answer your question, I can tell you St. Clair Township pays a lot more than you guys. So we did negotiate with them 2 years ago and they are considerably higher per home than what you guys are.
Yeah, not that that it's a make or break. It was
Yeah.
more just to have it there, so
On paper.
to make it look. You know.
Yeah. Of course, that I just wanted to, but they're also way more rural. Like you guys have a nice little knit here in Wyoming, so it gives us an opportunity, and same out in that Kamlaki stretch. It's a lot easier to clean up and pick up, whereas they just basically have Corona as a close knit collection and they've got a lot more driving space for us to traverse, so.
Would you say, another question, would you say you're pursuing any other municipalities like Enniskillen, Brooke, Alvinston, Dalton, stores, things like that? And if you were to secure them, could there be future savings as well?
Could be, yes.
Okay.
if we're able to add more to it, which is what our goal is we're focused on growth now. The last year has been a lot of renewal and kind of tendering and bidding, and we also have Marquette in Michigan as well, so we have the same size facilities over there as well. So, and then we also operate the waste transfer station, Transco. So once we are able to secure more work, then we could potentially come back with more savings for the municipality.
Well, I'm sure what you found in Wyoming, it's a bit of a blessing and a curse. Like it does take a while to crack Wyoming. But when you do, and they're impressed, they got your back.
And we love that.
Yeah, and so keep up the good work. And I look forward to maybe seeing you expand out into these other municipalities too.
Thank you, we do too. I did want to say also thank you to the residents. The residents have been so generous and so kind to our guys the last few weeks, especially over the holidays. And we had one of our long-term fellows who was out here all the time, Clint, he's been diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
And unfortunately, a few of the residents have come to our office to bring him cards and you know, they appreciated talking with him and they appreciated him as a person. So they wanted to come out and just bring him a card just to say thank you and wish him well and hope he's doing okay. Just, I have a lot of gratitude for the residents of Plympton-Wyoming. You guys are all really wonderful people and I can't say enough about working with you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's all from me.
Wish Clint the best.
Thank you. I will pass that along to him when I talk to him tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Wolbett, anything from you?
I guess the only thing I would say that I've certainly been dealing with you for a lot of years. I think Lonnie and I negotiated a 10-year contract with you. And I think it's unfortunate that we lost the recycle part of it, or you did, because that's affected us big time here because you know, we're maintaining this price of $170, but you know, before we were paying for the recycle, but they took that away, so we didn't save anything on the recycle. Actually, we all lost, to be honest with you. They lost half of their contract. We lost because we're paying the same thing now for garbage as we paid for both recycle and garbage. So other than that, thank you for coming back with some more savings there. And thank you for your service to our community.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well,
Any questions? Yeah.
Councilor Rodriguez?
Turn me right off on that. Oh, because it stated in here about spreading out that cost increase, is that still going to be the case because we've realized some saving?
It's gonna be a new motion. I just got down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Mr. Silva?
Through your worship, if I may add as well, like the actual unit rate that we're going to, that's gonna be a budget decision. So we'll bring some options at budget time. So I still think maybe we should move up to 180, but then after that, we can slowly increase it, not go straight to 210 because we're gonna be saving some money.
195.
195 is the break even kind of thing. So we can have those further discussions on what the unit rate for the residents are gonna be at budget time.
Yeah, I would.
So can I ask one more question? Reserves that we're using, will that be able to be adjusted down? Because we're just $70,000 off. So the reserves, I believe, with 150,000, was it? We had to throw in the pot. So there'll be some adjustment there. Okay, thank you.
Yes, there will be.
Great.
So on a suggestion of our clerk, I have a new motion. Deputy Mayor McEwen and Councillor Van Claveren, if you're okay with this, the report submitted by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated December the 2nd, 2025, regarding the Marquette Waste Collection Contract extension be received, and that the 7-year contract amendment submitted by Marquette Disposal Incorporated on December the 10th be approved, and that staff be directed to bring back a bylaw and agreement for consideration. Are you two okay with that? Yes. Council's clear. All those in favor? That is carried. And thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you, Trace.
I really appreciate your time and sorry it was such late notice, but
No.
Better late than never, I guess.
You're bringing money, you can be as quick as you want to be.
He'll be happy. Happier than last.
Merry Christmas.
Be good.
Happy New Year.
All right, council, let's keep it moving. We have a two drainage meetings at 6 o'clock. Item 8.7 on the agenda. Potential truck restrictions on County Road 21, Broadway Street. Moved by Councillor Vaizey, seconded by Councillor Bojan, that the report submitted by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated December the 2nd, 2025, regarding the potential truck restrictions on County Road 21, Broadway Street in Wyoming, be received as information. Mr. De Silva, anything to add to your report?
Not at this time, your worship.
Council, any questions on Mr. De Silva's report? Councilor Rodriguez?
Yes, thank you. So a couple of things, like I appreciate this is an MTO approved road. I appreciate it's always been used for trucks. Certainly there really isn't pickle with the half load restrictions by using alternative routes and the county owned roads. But as time goes on, population has expanded and the amount of trucks has increased. So we're kind of looking at that through, it was always there, so maybe it should always be there, but things change over time. What would be nice to know if the county would be agreeable to doing I don't know, can you do a truck traffic count or something? Just to understand how much is coming through here. You know, get a better picture of that. I'd like to see that as a good starting point, just to help understand whether.
Mr. Silva?
Yeah, through your worship. My understanding is the county just recently, and I'm not sure that data is available yet, did some counts on Broadway here. And that will split it up into classifications of vehicles. So we will know exactly the amount of trucks that would come through. I don't have that information at my disposal yet, but once I do, I'm happy to bring it back just to share with council so they know the actual volume of the truck traffic coming through. And I just want to say this was more of an information report. I did quite a bit of homework just to try to figure out the logistics, because this is really kind of a logistics issue in terms of you know, you could ban trucks, but they have to go somewhere, and what are the effects of that? You know, what is that going to be on other municipalities and existing road classifications and stuff like that? So the intent of the report is to bring information and to gather feedback from council. And if we want to go back to the county and make some suggestions or ask that they do something else, they were pretty agreeable to continue this conversation.
Nice, and if I may, and I guess it's important too because of that old Dresden dump. You know, what if this keeps being allowed to go through here? What are those impacts gonna have? And then, you know, at what point does it become a very big problem? I mean, it's already a problem to a lot of people in the community. You know, how worse is that gonna get before we actually are forced to do so? So I think it would be nice to get more information and get a good understanding of that Dresden, what their planned routes are. And, you know, if we can't restrict them here, you know, it could be a lot of trucks going through here all of a sudden. So I think that's important to consider.
Mr. De Silva?
Yeah, through your worship, that's a really good point, and the county and the town are both very interested in that decision, and we both made comments when the comment period was open regarding the increase in truck traffic that would come through town. Both the county submitted comments, I submitted my own comments in that regard as well. So we're very, very interested in the progress of that landfill.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Thank you, Mr. De Silva, for that report, and when you get that information, we'll look forward to hearing about it. Okay, let's go to item 9.1. I have a motion by Councillor Vaizey, seconded by Councillor Rodriguez, Bylaw 122 of 2025 being a bylaw to facilitate an agreement with R. Dobbin Engineering for consultant services for the reconstruction of Fleming Road be taken as having been read 3 times, finally passed. The mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. Any questions? Deputy?
Can you put speed bumps in this road too while you're at it? A lot of complaints about the speeding along there. More so on the south of Egerman Road, but while you're at it, you may as well put some, some rumbles, that stuff. But that's not in this, is it?
So through
Silver?
your worship, speed bumps are not included. However, we do plan to put a road adjacent trail in with a rumble strip. That would help protect, just like similar to how it's done on the rest of Fleming. So that is included in the proposed
Okay.
design.
That they just feel that when they go off the lane a little bit, that's all.
We could raise a few manholes up strategically.
Excellent. Queen Street.
All those in favor? It's carried. Correspondence, clerk, anything's been added since the agenda was printed? Deputy?
No items have been added.
All right, let's go to correspondence. I have a motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren, that correspondence items A to D relating to recommended reading and routine approval and information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by Plympton-Wyoming Council and filed accordingly. To my right, anything for you, Councillor Bojan?
No.
Councillor Vaizey?
Yeah, I'd like to pull B if we could, please.
That was B.
Yes. Good luck to you when I talk. B,
It would help, but
I can hear better when I
Well-
look at you.
You can hear better when you can read your lips.
B. All right.
Which is the standing together for justice with Welland for protecting of Canadians. Children.
Okay.
Also role eligibility and stuff for offenders.
All right. Councillor Rodriguez,
I'll support Councillor Basie.
so we probably have a mover or a seconder for that motion.
Otherwise, nothing.
So, Deputy? Councillor Van Claveren?
No, thank you, sir.
Councillor Wolvet?
No, sir.
We have a motion by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren, that correspondence items A to D related to recommended reading and routine approval and information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Council and filed accordingly, save and accept item B. All those in favor? That is carried. And I have a motion by Councillor Basie, seconded by Councillor Rodriguez, that the council supports correspondence item B from Welland regarding standing together for justice and the protection of Canada's children. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, item 12. New business, Councillor Wolvet.
No, sir.
Councillor Van Claveren,
No, thank you, sir.
Deputy?
Yes, I do have a little item, some complaints about people getting warnings about parking on the road between 11 PM and 5 AM. And we just passed that bylaw recently. I just want to bring up that maybe the next time we address that, could we suggest maybe a little bit later than 11 PM because people are, well, maybe younger people than me aren't ready to go home yet at 11 PM. You see, they want to stay a little longer and they questioned whether the snow plows are really out at 11 PM, but I said I would bring it up, so that's what I'm doing.
Mr. De Silva?
Yes, through your worship, but that could definitely be considered the next time we update that bylaw.
You're good, thank you.
Counselor Rodriguez?
Oh, nothing, thank you. I did want to follow up on your statement. Like, so just be in winter hours for snowplow. But. So if somebody did get a ticket, who do they work with on that ticket? I guess I always think of drinking and driving. I don't want anybody drinking and driving or worrying about a car on a road. Or if they have a medical emergency, whatever the case may be. Who do they talk to if that happens?
And so through your worship, it's our bylaw enforced by the county, so it's kind of multi-pronged. They could call us to work with us, and then we would have to advise the county of our decision.
So you've got an openness.
I don't know if the clerk has any other comments on that, because she's normally the one that fields those calls.
Or a formal appeal process.
A formal appeal process, yeah.
Ms. Gorchuk, any comment?
Just to add, there is an option for people that receive tickets to fight the ticket. So that's an option if they disagree with it. But we can be reasonable and discuss things and take into consideration, you know, if this is the 8th ticket versus this is the first, you know, we can definitely look into that. We work with county staff, as Mr. De Silva said.
Counselor Basie?
Yes, thank you. And mine is right along this line, because I've noticed now that this is enforced, we have people that are parking on the boulevards. And like on a side street where there's no curb and they've parked there all summer kind of thing, it's not as big a deal, but you know, streets do have curbs. We've got big boulevards and now we have people just parking on them like it's a parking lot. A is gonna wreck the boulevard and B looks like crap. And now we have cars parked all over the place, but they're not on the road, so good. We're good with the snowblower, but I don't know if there's anything in our bylaw like that. Don't recall anything like that, but
Yeah,
Ms.
so,
Silva?
yeah, through your worship, I don't think there's anything in the parking bylaw. However, there might be something in the streets bylaw that prohibits parking on the boulevard. So I would have to look into that a little bit further if you don't mind.
wait, yeah, I just like saying, noticed it in a couple of spots that. Yeah, we all got more than one car than we did 30 years ago, but 3 cars and a boat and everything else. Now we're gonna park all over the boulevards that, you know, there's gotta be. Like crap. That's all I have. Thank you.
Counselor Bojan?
Just one plug for the Kamalaki Firefighters Association. They're doing their annual Santa tour next Saturday. They're doing a food drive with it, so the map of their route is posted online. So if folks along that area want to bring canned food, we'll be collecting it on the way. And we're also doing a station open house afterwards from 12 till 2, so you can bring canned food then as well. And that's about it.
Really good to the association for doing that. I think they really stepped up and will serve the purpose for those out there in the community that need it, so.
It is a lot of fun. Even last year it was freezing cold and kids were still in the front lawn.
Well, please pass along our thanks to your association. I have nothing new under new business, so we'll go to item number 13. A motion by Councillor Willett, seconded by Councillor Van Claveren, that council move into an in-camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the municipal, oh, sorry, I can't do that yet. We have drainage at 6. Wow, I'm sorry, Councillor Van Claveren, I didn't want to take away from that, so. Council, let's take a 2-minute break because I believe the Councillor Van Claveren is ready to go. I apologize for that. And for the McFarland Drain, I'll turn it over to Councillor Van Buylen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, indeed, it's a little after 6, so we will get started with a consideration meeting for the Garland Award Drain. At this point, it is the time in the meeting where you would declare any pecuniary or conflict of interest on this drain. The purpose of this consideration meeting is to discuss the technical aspects of the drainage report dated November 21st, 2025 for the McFarland Award Drain. If there are any assessment concerns, these will be addressed at the quarter revision. Allow me to introduce our council and staff personnel present. Mayor Gary Atkinson, Deputy Mayor Nettie McEwen, Councillors Bob Wovette, Kristen Rodriguez, Ryan Vasey, Alex Bojan, our drainage clerk, drainage coordinator Ryan Tamming, our drainage clerk Jessica Wilson is here. Our Director of Public Works, Paul De Silva, Treasurer Norma Roddick is here. Our CEO, Adam Sabansky, and our clerk, Aaron Korchek, are online with us. And of course, our deputy clerk is here with us also. Thank you. Mr. Garretts is our engineer on the project, and he will provide a summary at this time of the engineer's report. Garretts, thank you.
The Chair and the Council. So this is the engineer's reports were prepared under Section 78 of the Drainage Act as per the direction of council, which is based on a landowner's request. The existing conditions, the drain was last improved under a report dated 1973 by Monteith. The drain parallels the open portion of the McFarland Road allowance, and in that area, it's a combination of an open and closed drain. It crosses Egremont Road through a culvert, and then it outlets going north along in the road right of way of the McFarland unopened road allowance, though. So it's an open ditch there. It goes, I believe, 680 meters, and then it stops and outlets into a ditch or a water course. It goes a bit more to the north, and then it cuts across the McFarland road allowance, unopened road allowance through a culvert, goes along the edge of the treed area in the field, goes underneath the abandoned road or rail line culvert, enters the bush and outlets basically onto Ferguson Estates, which is the old Egremont golf course. So we just touched that property. Part of this drain, I also looked at the site meeting, they were talking about some drainage patterns that changed in the watershed. So I got the tile maps, I got as many tile maps as I could, I looked at the aerial images, I looked at swoop, and there were some minor changes, mainly with subsurface drainage, mainly on the Somerville lands. I have talked to the Somervilles, I have talked to the Edwards landowners, and Ryan's talked to the Wouters about the drain. We had an on-site meeting on December 20th, 2024. And then we had a second meeting with landowners. Unfortunately, only one landowner showed up, but it was one landowner, the person who requested the improvement. And that was at a stage when we had the draft report almost finalized. The design, so we designed an open channel with a 1 meter wide minimum bottom with 2-to-1 horizontal slopes and conveys the minimum 2-year flow. Culverts are designed to maintain or improve the existing level of service. And the farm widths would be 8 meters. It's recommended that we extend the McFarland drain downstream from its present outlet to just into the Ferguson Estates lands. Remove and replace the centerline culvert on the unopened portion of McFarland Road allowance. It's plugged with a lot of sediment, so it's not really flowing, which is why the upstream landowner had his complaint his pipes weren't draining. So then we got into the culvert. There's quite a bit of sediment. There's a big hump after it, but really it's only between the McFarland unopened road allowance and the rail line culvert. After the rail line culvert, it's clean. Even through the rail line culvert, it's clean, but it just kind of gets stuck up in that top end of the drain. And then we're going to incorporate the abandoned rail line culvert into the report, provide maintenance specification, provide schedules of maintenance for the drain. The estimated cost is $64,238, includes engineering, tendering, and an inspection for allowance. Assessment breakdowns, the drain has generally been assessed with 50% of the estimate as a benefit assessment and the remainder as an outlet assessment to upstream properties based on equivalent hectares. The culverts were assessed 50% of the engineering for the future ones to the adjacent landowner and 50% upstream. Future grade line was 100% assessed out against as an outlet assessment to all upstream lands. And there's a detailed schedule of allowances in the report, detailed schedule of maintenance in the report, construction specifications in the report, and I'm available to answer any questions about the report.
It's obviously there's no landowners here, but is there any questions to Mr. Garrett on council? Questions to this point? Is there any correspondence come in, our clerk Jessica? Okay. The motion moved by Councillor Bob Wolf, seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen. That's the report by Mike Garrett's, engineer of M. Garrett's Consulting Incorporated, dated November 21st, 2025, regarding the McFarland Award Drain Extension be adopted as presented, and that provisional bylaw 123 of 2025 be taken as having been read a first and second time, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. All in favor? That's carried. Other motion also moved by Councillor Bob Wovette and seconded by Deputy Mayor McEwen, that the consideration meeting for the McFarland Award Drain Extension be adjourned. All in favor? And that's also carried. Thank you very much. Okay. We can go right into our second consideration meeting, which is the Trussler Drain. And once again, this is purpose of this consideration meeting is to discuss the technical aspects of the drainage report dated November 28th, 2025 for the Trussler Drain and the associated branch drains. If there are any assessment concerns, these will be addressed at the Court of Revision. Allow me once again to introduce staff and council present. Mayor Kerry Atkinson, Deputy Mayor Nettie McEwen, Councillors Bob Wovette, Kristen Rodriguez, Mike Facey, and Alex Bojan. Our drainage coordinator Ryan Tamming is here. Drainage clerk Jessica Wilson, Director of Public Works Paul De Silva, our CAO Adam Sabansky, and our clerk Aaron Korchek are online with us. Treasurer Norma Roddick and Lisa Smekens, our deputy clerk. Thank you. The engineer on this project also is Mr. Garrett's from M. Garrett's Consulting Incorporated. And Mr. Garrett's, if you would be so kind as to explain your engineer report, please.
To the chair and to council. So this report's been prepared under section 4.1C of the Drainage Act, and that'd be for the area court storm system, the existing storm sewers that are within the roads of area court, and section 78, which is for updating the assessment schedule for future maintenance of the old 1983 Trussler drain report on Kamlaki Road. The existing conditions, a summary of the Trussler drains has been provided in the report. It's a bit cumbersome because there's a lot of Trussler drains with different spellings, and they've been revised over the years. So I put them on the plan. I won't go through them here because it'd be confusing, but they're on the plan. But the most important thing is we're looking at the 1983 report that was prepared by J.A. Monteith, which goes from basically just south of Lakeshore Road by the church. It goes up the Kamlaki side road and it extends all the way to the church that's at the south end of Kamlaki. The drain includes that main drain plus one catch basin. The only catch basin in the drain is the actual top end of the drain. So all the other catch basins within the Kamlaki Road allowance were put in by the road authority and then would be maintained by the road authority. There's been a lot of severances in the watershed since the 1983 report, or land use changes, within the watershed since the 1983 report was prepared, and the area court development brought in an additional 4 hectares of land into the watershed, but uses stormwater management pond to control the flows as they enter the Trussler drain. That 4.24 hectares was part of the Carmichael drain that was done before, and it's showed up a couple times, but it's always been highlighted in the previous reports. So they aren't double assessed. There was an on-site meeting held on November 5th at the council chambers. All landowners were invited. The amount of people that came was okay. Not as many as are in the town. Obviously, people that had concerns came, and at that meeting, we pretty much had a draft report done. The design of the report was for incorporating the area court development storm system and updating the schedules of assessment for maintenance on the 1983 report. The drain design was done by Monteith and Ingram, T.W. Gray, and B.M. Ross and Associates over the years. The report recommends preparing a scheduled assessment to assess out the report costs, incorporate the TWA Gray drawings, the B.M. Ross drawings into the drain report. Incorporate specifications prepared by B.M. Ross. They can maintain the drain. Prepare an updated maintenance schedule for the 1983 report. Prepare maintenance schedules for the Trustler Branch 1 and Branch 2 drain, and then specify that any future land use changes will be subject to a reassessment under the Section 65 of the Drainage Act. The estimated cost is $27,609, and that includes engineering fees of $11,850 and allowance. The reason I broke it up is because there's a $15,550 in allowance for the existing system on Erie Court. That is charged to the town of Plympton-Wyoming, but in the report, they receive an allowance. So it just kind of filters through. You get an allowance, but you're assessed it as a special benefit. And it's just to make sure that we properly bring the existing storm system into a drain report and provide money for it so that people can't say anything in the future. And then there's also HST. It's important to note there's no physical work in this project. It's only for the reports. The cost to prepare the report was an outlet assessment based on 100% of the costs, put out to equivalent hectares on the size of the lot, and then I prorated the town's portion of their roads as an equivalent lot in town, and then I assessed them that way to just to make it fair for everyone. Everyone's getting based on their square meter of lot, and the town gets so many equivalent square meter lots for the roads. And the Section 31 allowances, as I previously said, were assessed to the town and then provided an allowance back. And then there's detailed maintenance specification in the report, construction specification in the report, and plan and profile drawings in the report. I can answer any questions from council.
Mr. Garrett, appreciate that. I'll just turn to Jessica if we have any correspondence come in.
No.
Correspondence? Any questions on council to Mr. Garrett? Yes, Councilor Rodriguez.
Still trying to figure out how to ask the question. Putting into words, like this area here. Does it falls in conservation regulation portions of it because it's a floodplain area?
In the, I don't know if Erie Court's in it, the town of, like, village of Camlock, it could be. I don't really deal too much with floodplain analysis under the act.
No, I
Like, or
understand.
even the conservation, so I'm not sure if it's I didn't even look if it was regulated.
Oh,
Like, I don't deal with the regulated part of it. We have a drain, and so then we're already brought in through the Drainage Act. I do have to deal with regulated areas if I'm putting a new drain in, but there's already an established drain there. We're bringing part of a little bit of extra water in through the 4.24 hectares. We're bringing that into the watershed, but it's controlled, but the rest of the drain's already established. The storm sewers are already established. So we're not doing a new drain. If I was putting a new drain in, I would probably get conservation approval on it through a permit, but I don't think they'd say too much on this.
My question, I guess, was gonna be.
Oh, sorry.
That wasn't the question. Good answer.
It was a great answer. Is there a lot of flooding in this area and, or is this existing drain, fairly effective?
Well, I don't know if there's been too many complaints in the town of Kamlaki about like the storm system backing up. I mean, it's on a drain, so the drains have a 2-year outlet, right? And you're dumping into a drain that can only handle so much before it backs up. In every drain in the areas like that. No one said anything at the site meetings, and no one said too much actually, even if you on the McFarland drain, because some of these landowners will be into this drain with the front of their property, but into the McFarland drain with the back of their property. And no one really brought up the storms. I haven't heard about the storm sewer issues. Public Works would probably hear if there was a lot of issues.
That would be.
Thank you very much. Any other questions on council?
Can I just ask
Yes.
one question?
Councilor, with that.
You made a statement that there's no physical work involved?
No. No, what we've done is Erie Court.
$7,000, but there's no physical work.
Well, there's 15,000 of that is for bringing a sewer, like, so we bought the sewer that's in the ground that the developer put in, and then we gave an allowance right to the town, so it just filtered back and forth. This is for bringing in Erie Court, the storm system into the municipal drain. It's just a storm sewer right now. Now it's become a municipal drain, so that in the future, when they can maintain it in accordance with this report.
So just a report. Yeah, no show.
Oh, show. For a change.
Pretty expensive show.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
I have a motion here signed by Deputy Mayor McEwen and seconded by Councillor Bob Wolvett that the report by Mike Garrett's engineer of M. Garrett's Consulting Incorporated dated November 28th, 2025 regarding the Trusser Drain 2025 and associated branch drains be adopted as presented, and that provisional bylaw 124 of 2025 be taken as having been read a first and second time, and the mayor and clerk be authorized to sign the said bylaw accordingly. All in favor? Carried. Motion moved by Deputy Mayor McEwen, seconded by Councillor Bob Bovet, that the consideration meeting Trustler Drain 2025 and associated branch drains be adjourned. In favor? It's also carried. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor. Let's take a 5-minute quick break and we'll resume. We're going camera at that time. Shouldn't answer the phone. Okay, let's go. Motion by Councillor Wolbett. Seconded by Councillor Van Claver. The council move into an in-camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 is amended for the following reasons. Item A, litigation matters, section 239, bracket 2, bracket E. Litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Item B, third-party confidential information, section 239, bracket 2, bracket information that has been supplied in confidence by a third party. Item C, personnel matters, section 239, bracket 2, bracket B. Personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. For that motion, all those in favor? That is carried. Those that are joining with us virtually, thank you for your patience. We will be going in camera now and coming back out to close the meeting down after.